Hello, people coming in. Hold on. It's been a while since I've done this. I got to get back into the swing of things. Let me go to JCG group. Hello, everybody. Hello, Rhonda, Katie Kane, Emerald Flowers, Don Z, Pamela, Short Sweet, all of you guys coming in, and Susan. Came is my wonderful Susan. I'm just putting out stuff before I begin. Hold on, you guys. Bear with me for a short moment. Visibility, channel members, posts. Okay. I love your channel. Happy New Year. Happy New Year too, Lisa, Gunn, Thorpe, and everyone else. I would actually go on a limb and say that I feel even better today. Although it's a good time right now to take Mucinex just for my stuffy nose. But besides that, I feel fine. I feel really fine. I'll be right back one short moment. Actually, I'll do it later. It's not that serious. Brandy. What's going on, Brandy? Um it occurred to me the day that I remember from Katelyn Nicole Davis is February 20th because that is our birthday. I share the same birthday with her from people who watched the video that I did on her. But when I woke up this morning, I'm still connected to everyone in the Katelyn Nicole Davis community. So I saw creators such as Bobcat. Shout out to my man. Uh, Type in Bobcat and then type in Katelyn Nicole Davis into your YouTube search. He has never stopped supporting her and making videos to help spread awareness about her story. He was doing it before I was doing it, and he's still doing it now to this very day to show the dedication to get this story out here, to do what Katelyn actually wanted. And I'm going to try to find that video today too to play it. But she wanted to spread her story to prevent other people from doing this. And that was one thing I never put into the documentary I made on her. Hello, Mimo Dragon, on your first live. Hello. But today is the anniversary of when she actually left this earth. It was on December the 30th of 2016. And I can't believe it's been 5 years already to see such that little 12-year-old girl go through everything that she went through. And to know that she would have been 17 years old. She'd have been almost 18 years old. She'd have been 2 months shy of being 18 years of age. She would have been months away from becoming a young woman, an adult. So much more to the world to see. But when we neglect and don't look at the signs and pay attention, situations like this can happen. Um, since I covered the suicide of Katelyn Nicole Davis, you saw my daughter was in the video, and I'm going to play the video. I'm actually going to do director's commentary on the video. I was going to do that anyway, but I'm just going to do it live. Uh, but what was going on with my daughter in the video was actually fiction, but fiction became reality as I had to become a father with a young daughter who's going through mental issues, which made it more personal when I watched the video now or watch the portion of the video where Caitlin Nicole Davis' father had pretty much given up on her and what it did to Caitlin Nicole Davis. And when I preached to him what I would do if I was in this situation, uh, I got to do in his situation to make sure that my daughter doesn't go down the same path. So it became all more personal in the past uh, 3 years since I made the video, or technically 2 years since I made the video. This was my second YouTube video I'd ever made on my John Crimes channel. A lot of people think that this is the first video. The first video is removed from YouTube, but if you want to watch it, it's on John Crimes on Facebook, and it's on Sarah and Amina Saeed. After doing the Sarah and Amina Saeed video, I had no direction for my channel. I didn't know. I never was a true crime YouTuber. I didn't know the order I was going to go. I didn't have a whole lineup of what I was going to do. I didn't know how fast I was going to do stuff. And I was sitting here one day and little video clips kept popping up of this little 12-year-old girl. Yeah, it has been a minute. Yes, I'm going to update you on her young siblings and what's going on. I'll do all of that stuff as we go through the live. But um, all her videos kept popping up on my channel, and I'm like, yo, who is this little girl? They just kept sending me recommendations to watch these videos of her over and over again. And I said, what the heck? I start watching it. And then, long story short, I was disgusted to see that a girl committed suicide by hanging herself in her backyard. And I was mortified, but at the time I was thinking, I can't cover it because I'm supposed to cover murder and true crime. This is not murder. But then I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about this little girl, and something just kept pushing me to cover her story. And it pretty much was life changing to me when I did it. Thank you, Rachel Hunter. I'm getting stopped up as I talk right now. Is this due to drinking hot tea, I guess. But I actually have something for that too. I'll take once I start playing the video. Uh, but yeah, it was pretty much life changing for me to go through that, just emotionally and as a father, as a parent, um, and to meet the wonderful people in the community. I'm still very close friends with Courtney. I went through a crazy stalker who must be in some kind of legal trouble because if he isn't, he's still around. He typically comes when he hears a name, so he may come back on this live or something just because I have a new Caitlin Nicole Davis video. Uh, but yeah, it's been life changing, but I wouldn't change anything for one short moment. If you look at the comments on the video, I've had all kind of school teachers come to me. I've had principals come to me, psychologists come to me about that video and saying how important it was, and for the people and for some of the children that they showed it to. And also, that video has a lot of comments from teenagers, a lot of comments from teenagers that identified with Caitlyn, and that video changed their perspective. Life keeps going. You never look down upon somebody because it's almost circular in a way where one day you could be up, the other person could be down. But as long as it keeps going, you have an opportunity to change your mental outlook. We've all been in those situations. How am I going to pay my rent? Somebody broke my heart. Whatever your trigger was that had you lowest in life, But as long as you're breathing and life is continuously going, you can get out of that. Who's to say how Caitlyn would feel right now if this tragic situation never would have occurred and she's in her senior year of high school about to be 18 years old. Maybe she could have went off to a college. Maybe she could have came down to Atlanta, Georgia and went to one of the colleges here and got away from that small town. The only way for these things to happen is you have to choose life. And I hope that's what everybody got out of the story. Hold on, you guys. Be just a short moment. Good morning. Hold on. My 23-year-old son was crying watching it. He said that director narrator is amazing. I said, that's John Crimes, my pal. Thank you, Kelly. Tell your son I said hello and tell him I said that you are my pal. I really appreciate that. And I'm glad that it resonated with him. And also thank you to Don Z for always showing your support. I'm gonna go over what happened to the mom. I'm gonna update you all on what happened on everything in 5 years. Let me pull the video up now, and I'll go through. As a lover of films, I was one of those weirdos. I couldn't wait to be alone on a Saturday, especially when I was in the Air Force. I'm an adult now. I can buy my own stuff, and I will buy DVDs of movies I like. And I couldn't wait to watch the movie. And after the movie goes off, I couldn't wait to watch the director's commentary. I want to know why he made the decisions. He or she made the decisions they made to do certain things or play certain things in certain situations and stuff. Just things you don't even think about. One of my favorite director's commentary was Robert De Niro's Taxi. When Martin Scorsese was showing the scene, he was showing the scene of Robert De Niro character was in a room with his foot up and he was watching television and he kicks the television over for no reason. And the director's commentary, he shows how the camera starts from a group of people and it slowly pans all the way to the left. And he slowly panned to show Robert De Niro by himself to draw out the fact that this guy is totally isolated from reality and totally isolated from being a social animal. And it's driving him crazy. And he's teaching you this just from the camera angle alone, things that you never think about. And it builds up this tension till he's so frustrated that he can't get along with society. That's why he kicks over the television. Just little things that always stick out to me. Uh, I used to always read boxing websites and boxing articles, and there'd be one person doing the boxing mailbag where that person will write articles answering every question. And I remember the day I was working for a boxing website, and I'm like, oh man, I get to do the boxing mailbag. It's like a dream come true. So I watched a lot of director's commentary. Now I'm about to give a director's commentary on this right here. And it's pretty cool in a way. But Air Force mom. Thank you, Susie Carter. Thank you. You guys have any questions as we go along? I'm gonna be reading the side, so ask me and I'll answer those of anything of why I made the decision I made and just giving G Wiz information. And then once it's over with, I'm gonna update you all on any questions or anything that's happened. with Caitlyn's two siblings, her family, her mom. I'm gonna say some shocking news I'm probably not supposed to say, but screw it. I'm gonna say it about Caitlyn's mom. All right, so without further ado, my friend Clarissa Sheik did the thumbnail for it with the 4 snapshots of Caitlyn Nicole Davis. I decided to title it Sad Inspiration, the story of Caitlyn Nicole Davis. It used to be called The Story of Caitlyn Nicole Davis. I had to change it to The Story of Caitlyn uh, due to a weirdo online. But sad inspiration, Caitlyn wanted to inspire people. Caitlyn never wanted a child to be sad. She never wanted a child to commit suicide. She had videos up where she's begging and pleading with children to choose life and not choose to commit suicide. So it's just sad that, that she succumbed to it when she was fighting so hard for herself. Let me make sure it's proportioned. Okay, it's proportioned.
Why even ask? You don't care. I used to get confused when my 12-year preteen emo daughter would leave these quotes on her wall. But then I quickly realized
That's my crappy handwriting. Um, except for the circular things around it. My daughter did do that, but my daughter would have positive motivation quotes, but I deleted them, and I'm like, it would make it more personal if I told the story, because this was my second video I've ever done, but this was the first video that I've done that I was going to actually travel to go do. I was going to go to the actual site and go to where Caitlyn Nicole Davis lived and where she died, and go to her school and go to her graveyard. So since I knew I was going to go on this journey physically, I thought, what if I made a documentary, and at the beginning I'm saying how I'm having problems with my daughter as a father, and through hearing Caitlyn Nicole Davis' story, I put a sentimental ending on it as I come back to my daughter. This video is like scary how true this becomes in the future. But yeah, I've shot all of this beginning in one day. This was the final thing that I shot on the video. This was the last thing I shot, and I remember I was talking on the phone to Stephanie Harlow the whole time. She was asking me, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm changing shirts over and over again, and I'm just making these weird faces in front of my camera." And I'm like, "I can't explain it to you. It's gonna be at the beginning of the video." But the whole time I was doing this, I was talking on the phone to Stephanie Harlow. So it shows you how far back I do go with Stephanie Harlow.
this was just some cry for attention. A girl that doesn't realize how privileged she really is. I mean, some days I wake up and she wouldn't even bother to change the board. She'd leave the same message up to make sure her father sees it. And I saw it. But when you're so privileged that you can't even bother to spell the word depression right.
So this just to put y'all into context, I shot this and there's no noise, right? And there's no sound. And so when I come back and I look at the footage, I noticed I spelled the word depression incorrectly. I'm like, dang, dude. And then my daughter got mad that I spelled the word depression incorrectly, because she was like, they're going to think I can't spell the word depression. So I'm like, okay, I got an idea. So I used it in the storyline. I'm like, I'm acting like I'm this pompous father who's just too good to care about his daughter. So I was like, I'm not going to listen to her. She can't even spell the word depression right. I'm saying that, and that kind of pissed certain people off, but they didn't know I'm just acting. None of this is real. Uh, and they didn't know that I actually spelled that incorrectly. So this was a mistake I did. So I just put it in the storyline as if I'm not going to even listen to my daughter. She can't even spell the word depression correctly.
I'm going to assume that you really don't have it. And I simply got better things to do with my time.
Everything you're hearing now, this was shot in complete silence. So this was the first time I ever added a full sound effect of everything. I've never done this before until this scene. The birds chirping are fake. The door opening is fake. I added all of this later in post. I had to go find every sound effect. The car cranking up is fake. The car riding back as you hear it on the ground. All of that is stuff I found later. This was shot in complete silence. Oh, and for people wondering why did I shoot it in complete silence? Because I knew the camera was going to be far away across the street, so I knew you weren't going to be able to hear things. I didn't have the equipment I have now. I didn't have the sound thing, so I thought like I'm way too far away to get that dramatic effect. So just shoot it in silence and add all of this stuff later. Yes, that was really my house. Yeah, a Honda engine doesn't sound like that. That's like a truck. I try to put the pictures up right on the beat as it comes and it goes. Switch again and go. Uh, I was trying to contrast. If you notice, is that she's happy and she's upset. She's happy, upset. I was trying to pull that in just to show different parts of her in that order during this opening sequence here. She was just happy coming from the drawer. Now she looks manic and she's rapping. Blow a kiss and goes right into crying. The music I use on this channel, 90% of it come from the same person. I have experimented with other people, but 90% come from the same guy. He saw one of my documentaries. I'm gonna say the word flag, but it came up with a copyright strike. And then I wrote him and he watched it and then he approved. Once he saw what I was doing with his music, he approved of me to use his stuff. He actually gave me a mug too, but he approved of me to use his music uh, with the immunity, I guess. I can use anything of his and I don't even have to ask for it. And if it does come up with a flag by accident, he'll remove it for me. So that made me feel really, really good. And it gave me my outro theme music that I use for all of my documentaries too. I think I used it for this one for the first time. Oh, and also too. So the next thing we're about to get into, um, so this opening right here, some stuff comes from not having confidence. I didn't have any confidence. I knew I liked my opening intro and it was cool. And I'm like, okay, John, it's time to tell the story. And so I was nervous. So I had a black screen. I'm like, I need to put something up about the town. Uh, uh, and I didn't know anything about Cedar Town. The only thing I could find was a song that someone made about the town. So I went and looked at the lyrics for the song, and I decided to post it in this artistic way, just as a segue to bring in the city, bring in that there's not much about the city except for a 12-year-old girl committed suicide. And that should be the opening to tell Katelyn's story, starting from her grandfather.
I got a gal in Cedartown, Georgia. I used to have to walk nearly 3 miles to court her. She never had much, just a sharecropper's daughter, but I married her and took her down to New Orleans. Got a little house in South French Quarter. Got a job, took in bail, loads them on a steamboat. I give the 7 days pay next day unbroke. When she ain't a sleeping, all day she's a primping. Every evening when the sun goes down, she starts a swarming on New Orleans town. Walking into work this morning at daybreak, I caught her with the tall, long dandy from a cane break as she walked right by me and she looked right through me. I made up my mind what I'm going to do. Eased in the pawn shop and bought a 22. I watched as the room clerk gave them a room key. A standing right outside, I could read room 23. Tonight, I'll put her on a train to Georgia. Gonna be a lot of kinfolk squalling and grieving, 'cause that Cedartown gal ain't breathing. Interesting that Waylon Jennings would make a song called Cedartown, Georgia in 1971, yet the song takes place in New Orleans instead of Cedartown, Georgia. And that's because this is a tiny town in northwest Georgia. Not much information is given on the town. Heck, even the history of the town is in dispute on whether or not the Cherokee and Creek Native Americans lost a foot race to the settlers or whether or not they won a baseball game. Either way, Cedartown was established.
All of that is true. That it could have been over a dispute of a baseball game. Everything I'm saying is facts. I'm not embellishing anything.
Not much big news, except for 1970s, many of the structures were demolished, train stations, churches, and high school, all on Main Street. You look on Wikipedia, and this town goes from 1970 to 2016, specifically December the 30th of 2016, where the Wikipedia says a 12-year-old named Katelyn Nicole Davis, known online by the username It's Dolly, hanged herself from a tree in her backyard while live streaming the event on Live Me after she claimed being neglected by her biological father alongside being physically and sexually abused by her stepfather. The video caused widespread outrage. I'm in my car and I'm driving to Silver Creek in Cedartown. And all I'm thinking about is Katelyn and how I'm going to cover Katelyn's story. But as I do my research, things are a little bit more spookier than I thought. Charles, also known as Chuck Parrish, in 1988 was injured in an on-site.
This was very hard. I know a lot of times you guys hear me say I don't have a script that I write like everybody else. It wasn't like it was on purpose, like I'm trying to be this cool dude who doesn't need a script. I just didn't think about it. When you don't have structure and you don't know what you're doing, I've only made one video prior to this. You may do stuff different than other people just because you haven't watched how other people work. Maybe if I watch how other people work, I would have had a script. So it was hard to shoot this and to nail down all of these facts and say the dates and stuff as I'm talking now because I'm just talking. It just and I think I get lucky a lot of times because I don't have a lot of common sense. It never occurred to me like, why don't you just write a script? I just would think like, I gotta get to that. What date was that? What date was that? It was 19, and I sit there and I just record. So it's not like I'm trying to be a certain way. It just fell into place that way, you know. And then once I saw myself and the emotions that come from me when I don't have a script, then I purposely would not use a script unless it's some kind of acting I'm doing. Like I'll write a script if it's like I'm acting with the robot voice because I need to know what is said because I'm recording, talking to myself since I'm the robot voice and I'm me. But like when I'm just telling the story, I typically just walk back and forth and just say this stuff out loud over and over and over again until I get it.
Accident on his job. Now, this accident caused him to be amputated from his knee. The settlement he received from his job allowed him on March 2nd of 1989 to purchase the trailer and property on 1310 Dunn Road in Silver Creek, Georgia. Chuck lived there with his wife Debbie, and he also lived there with his three daughters, Valerie, Daphne, and Tammy. Tammy is Katelyn's mother. There are reports of a lot of fighting between Debbie and Chuck. Now, this is something that's going to go on through many generations at this trailer. But it's fascinating to me of how spooky things really get. On September the 4th of 2004, Chuck Parrish died, suicide, inside that trailer. What's weird is not only was this a suicide at this location, but how he died. He died from a shotgun blast. The report showed the shotgun blast hit his axilla, which is your under armpit. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen someone commit suicide by shooting themselves under the arm with the shotgun. It gets crazier. So when Chuck passed away, they're trying to decide who's going to inherit the property. And as they do so, the trailer is rented out to someone. The trailer is rented out to Raymond David Johnson, who will be known as the Cedartown Rapist. I can't make this up. This was less than 2 years later. So far on this property on 1310, we have a suicide and we have a serial rapist all within 2 years. Katelyn was born 7 months prior to her grandfather's suicide to Matthew Reed and her mom, Tammy Parrish. years later. So far on this property on 1310, we have a
Oh, my
suicide,
bad. I'm
and we have a
sorry. I
serial.
said I'm muted. I'm sorry. Um, this is what I was saying. When you see old stuff like this, typically you think it happened a long time ago, especially when you see older pictures. But if Caitlyn was 12 in 2016, she's born in 2004, so I'm gonna say 2004, and she's born before her grandfather committed suicide. So all of this happened in this century. All of this is like in this century. This is uh, crazy. This is all new stuff. Her to the serial rapist staying on the property. There's just something weird about that property, man. And I'm gonna go into that when I tell y'all when I went on the property what happened. But yeah, you guys should be able to hear me now.
Serial rapists all within 2 years. Caitlin was born 7 months prior to her grandfather's suicide to Matthew Reed and her mom, Tammy Parrish, who eventually got married and moved off to the military. As they went base to base, there was a lot of arguing going on, a lot of domestic problems, until Matthew Reed asked Tammy to leave. Tammy left back with Caitlin and traveled around and eventually moved back to Georgia, where she inherited the trailer on 1310 Dunn Road. This is when Tammy meets Anthony Lee Rogers and remarries, and he becomes Caitlin's stepdad. Now, there was issues almost immediately as Anthony was a lot more strict than Tammy was in trying to discipline Caitlin. Now, that's what you hear from Tammy. You hear from Caitlin.
Which I had a stepfather, but he tried to rape me. And he told me I should go hang myself because I was worthless.
It's crazy that you have cases, a lot of times a child say this, and if it's hard to hear for a lot of people, I'll make some changes. But the fact that it hasn't been hard to hear, if no one else says anything, I think you probably need to fix your audio or see what the issue is on your side. But if a lot of people come commenting, I'll try to change and see what I can do to help out with the audio. But so far, I've only heard it from you. Um, this isn't speculation, people. This isn't some little girl lying on her stepfather or anything. Um, her mom apologized. her mom apologized. So her mom knows that this dude did this to her daughter. And that's what I thought was crazy.
I was a worthless whore. Sorry. he said I should go hang myself. I wasn't worth it. It's 13 o'clock in Canada. You joking? Do not do things like that. You are too. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, for the longest while, I actually cut right in the wrist. But you can still see the scars barely. It's been a couple weeks.
How do y'all feel about knowing that Caitlyn was cutting? A YouTuber that does true crime went on their YouTube channel to put down my daughter and make fun of my daughter for cutting. And this YouTuber covers a case that a girl is missing. And while the girl is missing, the YouTuber believes her father, had something to do with it. The YouTuber hates her father. So I was just trying to think, like, if you hate this girl's father, why do you care about the daughter being missing? Because if the answer is the girl being missing has nothing to do with the father, Why would you pick on another little girl if you're supposed to be here for children who you think is cutting herself because you hate the father? You don't like her father. Or is it because you just don't like cutters? So you feel the same way about Katelyn too? Yes, we have some really, really sick people that come around that put on a moniker and a fake smile like they care. But even their own hatred logic doesn't make any sense. If you hate Don Wells, you should dislike his daughter too. Because if you hate me, you dislike my daughter and you try to shame her. It's sad, like I said, after this case was over right here, and after I done the video after a year, like things got personal with me on the plight of what Katelyn went through, as I had to go through things with my daughter. So it's like it triggers to hear Katelyn to bring that up and talk about it.
See, my scars. Why your dad say he's my stepdad? What time is it there? It is 8:10 p.m. My stepfather said, "You know what? I have no idea. You need to go ask him." He couldn't stand my guts, but at the same time, he tried to get in my pants. Like he was trying to have sex with me, and I was like, "No, you're 40."
A rebellious preteen or an abused preteen. I'll let you guys decide that for yourselves. But I would like to add, due to the mishandling of Katelyn's situation, we'll never find out. I was given a $10 donation for my trip to come see you. So this is from someone that cares.
I wish I remember who that person was who gave me the $10.
This story captivated me from being a suicide, as I normally cover crime, because there was just so many places that this could have been prevented. And I want to look at everything as a whole, but I want to break it down into different sections as well too. So let's discuss the section of her biological father, Matthew Reed. If you listen to Matthew Reed,
That's not true, Angel. She still brags about it to this day. She still laughs about it. She still has no problem with it. So I don't think it would be wise to try to say something positive about that person on my channel. I hate to have to delete you.
he almost tried all of his options to be in his daughter's life, but he feared Anthony Lee Rogers, he feared going to jail, and he feared lies from Tammy. And he said that Tammy poisoned his daughter's head. You listen to Katelyn, her father never tried to be in her life.
No, I don't have a dad. I have a dad, but he's not my dad. SOS. He's not my dad. Like he's my father. Like he gave birth to me. Like he helped create me, but he's not a dad. If you understand what I mean. Like he lives 2 miles away from me, but he doesn't care about me. That tough. You don't have a dad. Yeah. Look, when I OD'd and I was in the hospital, he didn't show up. He didn't show up. He didn't care enough to show up. Like, he didn't see me. He didn't come to visit.
I've been to this town. I can't think of a single reason why a man who lives right down the street from his daughter would not go to the hospital in this tiny freaking town. Try not to cuss, man. It's making me mad. Why and I gotta ask my friend. She interviewed him twice, but I don't know if she asked him why did he not just go to the hospital. I cannot imagine. You will have to have police guards outside the hospital physically keeping me away to not go to the hospital if my daughter is in the hospital for trying to commit suicide. That He can't. I don't know. There's nothing he can say can make that make sense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Visit. Yeah. He didn't come to visit.
This is going to come to a boiling point to where one day Tammy is going to tell Katelyn that her father saw her and he didn't try to speak or say anything to her. This is what her father had to say.
It is really hard when you're the only one that is supposed to jump through all the hoops. I'm sorry. You know, it goes back to, you know, Tammy's goal was always to pretty much do the worst things possible to me, right? So any situation that they could put me in that they could benefit from is what they were going to do. I can't go to a place where Tammy and Anthony are, or they are going to put me in a situation that it's a no-win situation for me, right? I mean,
This happened in this century. This happened in 2016. I know this man got a cell phone camera. I done went to the hospital with my cell phone camera on. Show I'm up here to see my daughter. That way, can't nobody try to lie on me and say something. But I'm not just going to cave in. I'm not just going to cave in and not go try to see, not try to fight. If I go around them, they're going to lie on me. So I'm done for life. If they're going to tell a lie, since they're going to lie on me, it's over.
I'm not saying it's the right thing or the wrong thing, but I can be no more or less of a dad if I'm in jail than if I made the choice of not going to jail.
You can always say someone could have tried more. You can always say they could have went to the depths when it's your child. And you can always see how you can get defeated over and over and over again by being put down or by being threatened by somebody, allegedly. And it can destroy your will to want to fight. I can't say what's right or wrong or what Matthew Reed should have done. I can only say what I would have done in that situation. I would have done everything in my power to try to see my child. Because the most important thing to note from this is that by the time the alleged incident happened, Katelyn had already tried to commit suicide. That she threatened to kill him one time. And this got her sent to Peachford Psychiatric Hospital. I think this was a gift and a curse sending her to this location, because you want to try to get someone help that's going through anything mentally. But at the same time, it kind of destroys her credibility. If she leaves this place and she says, my stepfather has been molesting me, it could be written off as one of her manic episodes. Allegedly, this is what happened a lot of times. Katelyn, whenever she get really upset, was more looked at as her medicine isn't working, so let's try to get her medicine.
I worry about what the fuck I do. Wait.
This is probably the hardest part, you know, and when I knew I was gonna play her mom arguing with her and some of the things her mom said, I was like, yo, how you gonna do this? Reenactment scenes, like how, and then the clip I got it from, Katelyn camera was off, so it was just black. So I'm like, the words are so powerful between Katelyn and her mom. You don't need to do anything, John. Leave it black. And leaving this black, just to still show my commentary, I put words on the screen to show when I was feeling something, how I was feeling. But a lot of the comments on this video are about this part. So, you know, it just was so emotional. You didn't really need to do too much to it.
Wait, calm down, calm down. Calm down.
Katie, shut up.
Calm down.
And there's some small things I don't know if you guys were able to hear, but Katelyn just said, just like all these men you have around. So I guess she's bringing different men in the house and sleeping with them. And Katelyn, Katelyn is a wise 12-year-old girl. She's not acting like she's 12. Katelyn acting like a teenager with how streetwise and how smart she was. So like, I mean, she know why you bringing different kind of men in the house, man.
You keep on bringing men over here and kissing up on all of them. Does he know that? Does he know that you keep bringing men in here? And keep on kissing up on them because they think you get freaking pills? Who needs to live like that? Not when you got children.
Oh my God, shut up, Katie. You don't know what the hell you're talking
Yes,
about.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. You always have over here. Yes, I do. Yes, they have.
No, they're not. Not no more.
Well, they were.
And that ain't even what you don't even know.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, Caitlin. Shut up. Back in that fucking room and shut your mouth.
Why should I listen to you?
You heard what I said.
I said, why should
All
I
right,
listen?
well, I'm going to tell you what. You're going to listen to me.
Why?
Because I said.
Keep fucking belittling me?
I ain't belittled you, Katie. All I said is, damn, I asked you to do two things.
Even mine.
Shut your goddamn mouth before I take a goddamn hammer to this phone.
I don't care. I'll take a hammer to your phone too.
No, you won't.
Oh, yes, I will.
Okay.
I
hit with her phone. I saw him with her phone. All do is I want him with her phone.
All you do is keep making lies.
I'm serious. I'm going to
Katie, I ain't never lied to you, so stop.
You have.
No, I have not. You need to stop right now while you're
Why
here.
can't I stop?
Katie, shut your goddamn mouth!
I don't care anymore.
Yep, and her baby brother is there, right there, listening to everything and mimicking everything. She can't handle the truth. She can't handle her child growing old enough to critique her and tell her directly how she feels. And I love that Katelyn has the ability to articulate how she feels. A lot of people don't know how to say how they feel to their parent, or they're afraid to say how they feel to their parent. And what her mom is going to do, let me go find your medicine. They want that medicine in Katelyn. But like in this situation like this, Katelyn doesn't need her medicine. You're supposed to listen to what she's saying.
She take your fucking Prozac there, or do you need to go back to the hospital?
Probably back to the hospital just so that I can deal with this crap.
Take your goddamn pill, Katie.
How about you
Stop. You don't live in pain, Katie. So
Yes,
stop.
I do.
Oh, okay. Take your
How
fucking...
about you look at the fucking scars all over me? How about you look at those? You don't know what pain is?
Katie, I done said stop. And I told you. You need to fucking talk to somebody. All you gotta do is come to me. Don't take it out on me. Stop where you're at.
Bad enough that my boyfriend that I just had just killed someone.
That's not my problem. Don't take it out on me. Sit down. Sit down, Katie.
Wait till I tell y'all what happened to her
Stay off
mom.
the goddamn internet. With the fucking psychos. Here, take a goddamn pill.
I didn't know he was a psychopath.
Well, there's more fish out in the sea. Don't take your shit out on me.
Well, I mean, you always say things. You said that you were going to get rid of Anthony right whenever you found out what happened, but you didn't. You stayed with him longer, and then what happened to the kid?
Katie, please.
I don't know why you didn't get rid of him at that instant.
If she's molested, her mama knows it. There's no excuse. He should have left immediately once she knew. That's the end of the story. It's supposed to be, but I'll throw you a bone, Tammy. If for some reason, let's say you was afraid he was going to beat you or something, whatever the reason you allowed this man to stay before you kicked him out after she told you this, you owe your daughter this explanation, because if you don't give it to your daughter, she's going to feel even more worthless, which is going to contribute to her suicide. You owed Katelyn to tell her. Her mom had this combative force, but the kind of energy Katelyn giving out She didn't need a combative force. It wasn't me against you. She needed reassurance from a mom that she loves, and she wants to feel love back. She needed reassurance at this point. It unless you must know that the reason you kept her stepdad around was foul. It had to have been, because if it was a real good reason, you would have told her. It's the perfect opportunity. That will shut her up. Love will shut Katelyn up way worse than shoving unnecessary pills down her fucking mouth.
Whenever I told you what happened in the pool, why didn't you just go ahead and leave him? That's what I don't get. He violated me. He tried to get
I know that, Katie. And is he here? Is he here? No, he's not.
But you could have got it on sooner. That made me think that you didn't care.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Katelyn. Katelyn who?
So what happened right there with the knock knock thing I said, cutting that off like right at the end. Let me go back.
Why didn't you just go ahead and leave him? That's what I don't get. He violated me. He tried to get it.
I know that, Katie. And is he here? Is he here? No, he's not.
But you could have got it on sooner. That made me think that you didn't care.
Shared last thing she said, that makes me think you didn't care. And with me driving all the way up here, my heart is racing because I'm looking at Google Maps and I realize this is her home. This is the corner. This is Katelyn. This is where she hung herself. So as I approach the property, my heart is beating fast. And I knew it was this time to put the scene here. When I say knock, knock, who's there? Katelyn. Katelyn who? The knock, knock mean I'm coming on your property. And it ends with saying Katelyn who, meaning she's a nobody, because that's exactly how she just felt with her mom. I'm nothing to you. I'm nothing to no one. Katelyn who? So that's why I put that there, to signify how Katelyn feels about herself inside. You know, right at the moment I pull up to her property.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Katelyn. Katelyn who?
To be honest, I feel like going outside. Yeah, I do need horse. Badly. I feel like going outside, finding a rope, tying it to a tree, tying the rope around my neck, standing on a bucket, and just fucking jumping.
When I first heard about this story, Tammy was Satan. She was the worst mother imaginable, outside of Sarah and Amina, of course. I replay certain things in my head for anyone who's not familiar with the case. There was a lot of things that looks easily in your face as neglect. I'll give you an example. Most people who have looked into this case will tell you that Katelyn slept in a room with a hole in the floor. Now, this is Northwest Georgia. I know you Northerners like to pick on us that it doesn't get cold out here, but it gets cold enough. It could snow. It gets cold enough that a 12-year-old child should not be sleeping on a...
Look at that room. In that crappy place lies an extremely talented 12-year-old. And if you watch her videos in full, she had a lot of videos she made during her final 30 days alive. You can see that girl could have easily been anything. I slept in rooms like that before growing up, man. You don't know how things turn out in your life, man. It doesn't matter how bad it gets, man. You got to fight.
On a mattress and a floor with a hole in it. There's also a leaky pipe in this room that's leaving the entire floor wet.
That's a big hole in the floor. Like, it. Think about right now in December. All these videos you're seeing from Katelyn are in December. She didn't get online and start live streaming herself until her final 30 days alive. That's when she got that phone. So all of this is what you're seeing right now is when it's cold outside in northern Georgia.
Upon further investigating this story, Katelyn was not supposed to go in there. Katelyn will go inside of that room where she can get along and she can be on her phone. Katelyn was supposed to share a room with her younger brother, who had bunk beds in the room. But this was a place for Katelyn to escape. So while it looks as if she was put off to a room, because one of the first things I said is that if my child had water on their floor, that their socks are constantly wet, it's cold, sick, could get molding from the pipes, I would have taken that room. I would have given my child my room and I would have taken that room. Again, this is a situation you have to ask yourself, what do you believe? You believe Tammy that this wasn't her room and she was not supposed to be in there? You believe what Katelyn says when she says that this is her room? On some of the recordings that Katelyn did, you can hear her mom telling her to get out. She's not supposed to be in there. When we get to the fall of 2016.
So this is the importance of it if saying stuff accurate information, right? It may not seem like it at first, but trust me, you got to report accurate information. You cannot say things that are lies. I think Tammy, Katelyn's mom, is one of the worst women alive, worst moms alive. Horrifying how horrible of a mother she is. Her being that bad, I could have easily said and pulled at your strings with the violin playing. This is Katelyn's room, and it had a floor in it. It had a hole in the floor. But I would not have been true. That would not have been a true statement. Her mom told her to stay out of the room. I just want to show other creators, you don't have to embellish. If someone is a monster, they're still going to be seen as a monster. The fact that this was not Katelyn's room and she was not supposed to go in there doesn't help Tammy at all. She's still a monster. You don't have to try to make someone look bad. Just report correct information. And if they're bad, they're going to look bad anyway. You don't have to build a narrative around anyone to try to like get money and stuff from your fans. Just report what's true. That was not Katelyn's room. She went in there because she had privacy so she can live stream. Now, if you think about that, that's even sadder. That's worse than if it was Katelyn's room. I'm going to tell you why. She so wants to seek acceptance from someone. She's willing to rush inside of a room that may have damp, wet feces inside of the carpet on the floor, freezing cold, just to try to feel love from a stranger on the internet. You don't even have to lie.
Katelyn now arrives at Cedartown Middle School. Upon getting there, she's bullied. She's bullied for being different. She's bullied for being the emo girl. Again, we want to look at this whole pie chart and look at every single thing that contributed to her wanting to commit suicide. We have a father to where, if he's neglectful or not a biological father, Katelyn feels he is. One thing he wanted to note was that even far after she passed away, he paid his child support. He actually goes around with the receipt that he paid his child support in his wallet to this day.
The amount of this shows where his true concern lies. It's in his reputation over doing what's right. Instead of going to the hospital where my daughter tried to kill herself the first time, and I'm not to go because they, they'll try to lie and say I'm doing something wrong, even though this is a public place and there are witnesses all over. I can take somebody with me to be witnesses. I can pull out a camera and videotape. I'm just trying to see my daughter who tried to commit suicide. Instead of doing that, I'm gonna stay away, and I'll just keep the child support thing in my pocket to show that I paid these 2 times.
Katelyn feels that her father is neglectful. Katelyn is arguing with her mom, and she feels that her mother.
And I believe him. I believe him. I believe that they don't want him around. I believe that they're gonna try to do something bad and lie on him. I'm saying even in that, you're supposed to continue to try always.
Mother is a drug addict that goes out and leaves her alone with her younger brother and sister to watch all the time. And now Katelyn is being bullied in school. Now, allegedly, leading up to this incident, Katelyn was suspended for drawing a picture of wanting to stab a boy in school. During this suspension and after being bullied, allegedly, this is what led to her trying to commit suicide in November. I signal this as the beginning of the end. As when Katelyn came from the hospital, she started to go online. We have an emotional 12-year-old girl with some instability issues who feels neglected from the world, and now she's going to enter the dangerous online world as she joins YouTube and an app called LiveMe, where she streams live. She will begin streaming her first one on December the 6th, and she will stream all the way.
I literally just blocked someone 30 minutes ago when we talk about the cutting yourself thing. I had to block somebody because they came in here to cuss me out and tell me I'm jealous of the YouTuber that picked on my daughter for slicing her wrist, for saying that my daughter slit her wrist, right? If this is about Katelyn and all you guys are here as regular people and we're seeing the horrific things that children go to, right? If I had to block one person for coming in here saying that, that means that they secretly watch, right? I'm totally cool. I'm fine. I'm a veteran. I'm getting back to Katelyn. This girl feels like nothing to her mom. Her father doesn't care. Her stepfather molested her. She getting picked on and bullied at school. And then she's about to go onto the same internet world where all these crazy trolls are. She's about to enter right now. She's not a strong-minded adult male. She's a 20-year-old girl with all of this stuff working against her, and then enter the crazy world. She never stood a chance. And this is a decline in 30 days. She tried to commit suicide at the end of November. Then her mom gives her the internet. Why would her mom give her the internet? To keep her busy so her mom don't have to hear Katelyn say stuff like, why are you bringing all these men in the house? I'm going to give my daughter to crazy, psychotic individual online so they can babysit my child. And while they babysit my child, I can continue to do the things I'm doing. It's like right now, December the 1st, Katelyn get this phone. We know she's going to die December the 30th. It's like Katelyn just caught a deadly disease. She's day one with the disease. Watch how fast she deteriorate.
Until she ends her life. So prior to making this video, I got catfished by a couple of people trying to give me information on the case. I got catfished. Prior to making this video, I saw massive online bullying of middle-aged adults. So can you imagine how dangerous this could be for an emotional 12-year-old who feels neglected to come and join this world? Well, children her age, people all across the world, just terrible human beings, can prey on her being so passionate and prey on her weaknesses, prey on her gullibility, prey on her need for acceptance, because she does meet some dangerous individuals. Katelyn meets the adult, dangerous sexual predator Luke Callahan. No, allegedly. She meets a sexual predator that preys on little girls. We had multiple girls during that time. And as clear as video evidence showed, tried to get Katelyn to do some, well,
He was watching porn because he had a boner, and he had to get it out, and it was terrible. Like right when he started, he said, "I'm gonna put that pussy like this." I'm like, I was like, "Oh my god!" Which when he was playing it, he didn't mute it at first, like so I heard the porn, and I was like, just like, whoa. Let's just say I got very educated yesterday. I got very educated yesterday. It's terrible. Let's just say, does your boyfriend ever get in with you? No, not really, because he lives all the way in Massachusetts and I live in Georgia. So, but he's planning on flying down here one day. He said pretty soon he'll fly down here. So that's why he was watching porn to jerk it off, because I wasn't there to fucking get it away. I wasn't there to help him out with that. He said, "You're supposed to be here to help me with these kind of things." I'm like, "Well, baby, I'm in Georgia. You're in Massachusetts. How the hell am I supposed to do that?"
this is the thing that really frustrates.
If I would have wrote a script of a girl saying, I needed to help him, he needed it, he needed to get off. If I would have wrote a script of a 12-year-old saying that about a grown man who's tricking her online, now I don't mean tricking like prostitute, I mean like literal, like, you trick someone. If I were to write that, people would think that this is not good writing because it's not believable that a character would say it in those terms, even if they felt that way. They wouldn't think it was believable. And yet here it happened in real life. Hey, that's how young a child's mind is. I don't care if they act like they're older. They are just a goddamn child. Yeah, he needed me help. I need to help him get it out. No, you didn't, sweetheart. You're a baby and he's a sick person that used you. He's a piece of shit that probably can't get real grown women. He will go to prison later, but she'll be dead. So he'll go on to do this to someone else. I just got a big education last night. Her giggles. Sometimes she talked like she's a 15-year-old, but she turned 12 really quick. She turned back to a little kid really quick, her real age. These are babies. These are babies.
Me about this whole case, this whole situation. We have a home that people are seeing during her lives where you can see that this is a terrible environment, just physically. Just, it doesn't matter if it wasn't her specific room, just molded, wet carpet and holes in the floor. One. Now we got her telling people online she has an adult boyfriend. She's 12 years old. And once she says something like this, she's failed by the system again. Allegedly, Luke Callahan played and preyed upon her weaknesses. Break up with her, and he'd run off and make her try to prove her love for him. Allegedly, he messed with her friend too as well. And this caused friction between her and her best friend in real life. Now, I don't want to go into too many details on this because I don't want to cause any pain in someone else's life when we don't know for a fact.
I ought to tell y'all who Ben is, but I don't really feel like telling you because if I do, I get really emotional. Thanks. Ben was... I don't even know where to begin with Ben. Let's just say me and him were together for a very, very, very long time.
I want to cut this pie.
He was the longest relationship I've ever had with anybody. We were together for 7 months. Like, I got really emotional. We didn't really break up. It's the fact that he catfished me. So that killed me badly. That was the longest relationship I've ever had, and he catfished me.
There's another video on here from a creator who did like a sort of a documentary on Katelyn before I even did this one. And he goes into detail on this portion, great detail, and even reached out to Katelyn's friend who catfished her. If I can find it, I will play that video as well too. But this portion goes into much more detail. I barely touched on the catfishing portion and what that did to Katelyn mentally.
He is actually a she named Alexa.
But Katelyn was getting catfished at the time by someone that goes by the name of Ben. On my video, it doesn't matter who Ben is, because to Katelyn, it didn't matter who Ben was. The circumstantial evidence to show that Katelyn knew she was being catfished, but she was so lonely. She wanted acceptance so much she didn't care. And that profile cut off and she went crazy, just wanted somebody to be Ben, just somebody to love me, somebody to show me some kind of attention. To have that pain, that need. I mean, I want you to think about being catfish here. Once you find out that the person is not who they say they are, you cut ties. You don't reel in closer. This is someone who's screaming out for help.
Another thing I didn't add in to the context of what I'm saying right now is she's explaining, and she said, my boyfriend, I had my longest relationship, 7 months. He was my boyfriend. It wasn't to the end that she's like, oh, that was a girl who catfished me. Like, she's still referring to it as a boyfriend relationship after she knows it was never real. That's the depths of loneliness right there, because that's all you really, really have in your life. But she had it, or she felt she had it in her life. No, she didn't feel she had. That's all she had in her life.
And then once again, she was failed. In my opinion, Katelyn saw a lot of sadness in her life, and it kept her even keeled. But once she got online, she had hope, and hope could be a dangerous thing to someone who's using that against you. Someone such as Luke would use hope. You have hope of a guy liking you. Now I'm going to strip it away. Hope, and now I'm going to strip it away. And this is going on at one of the most times of the year that people commit suicide. This is during the Christmas holidays, from December the 6th to the day she lost her life on December the 30th.
Yo, it's Dolly her. And right now, I got to see some early gifts. And I got me some nail polish, which I don't even use nail polish, as you can see. This is like over a month ago. I got this shit. I got this shit. I got me some headphones, which won't last a week. And I got more makeup, which I'm pretty sure you could tell I don't need anymore, but fuck it. And I got a broken wall. Thank you, siblings. That was their gift to me. And I got a baby in my wall. That's also very nice. Thank you. Thank you. So my Christmas is great. And I got a BB gun. So don't fuck with Dolly.
I saw an interview. It was the second interview with Katelyn's biological father today. And it was given by someone by the name of Celeste, who knows. And he was screaming, who is the evil person? Who is the enemy? Which was interesting to hear from her biological father, who's the enemy. What do we want from the enemy? What are we looking for? We're looking for understanding. We're looking for accountability. We're looking for purpose. Purpose that Katelyn did not die in vain. Luke Callahan is in jail now because he went.
The part right there, this was a mistake I made when I'm talking about purpose and not dying in vain. Right there was supposed to be a cut. And then I was supposed to show Katelyn when she was making her plea for other people not to commit suicide. And I don't know what happened. Maybe I forgot to do it or I couldn't find a clip. I can't remember. But right there, it was supposed to cut in the video of Katelyn because Katelyn has a video where she's crying and pleading for no one to end their lives and to always fight. But I didn't put it in that part. And then now it goes on to the Luke Callahan part.
Went on to molest someone else that young. Had someone reported him back when he was her boyfriend, this could have been prevented. The dissension, the anguish from December the 6th to December the 30th to watch this little girl go through. What haunts me, she put a final video up on December the 30th that morning. She was irate. Hair was wild. She was different. She was angry. But she didn't want to commit suicide.
Another second clip that if I can go back in time, I would have put in this documentary. I would have put the clip of her in the shed on the day that she commits suicide. And she finds this this leg. And she's like, what is this right here? And she tosses it to the side. It's her grandfather's leg who committed suicide on the property. So, who I showed at the beginning of this. So she finds her grandfather's leg, what's the odds of that? The same, they both commit suicide on this property.
She flipped off the tree. But what I can't get around is what happened. What happened from that video to her final video? I've searched around, I've talked to people, and the only thing that I can come up with is allegedly, as she called Luke her boyfriend again that morning, he broke it off. She talked to him last. Whatever happened, I've never seen.
I personally think, and I'm a different person now because if I would have made this now, I would say it and talk direct. I think Luke Callahan is one of those people that get off on the push and pull. You ever seen somebody like that, or you dated someone like that, or know a friend that dated a guy like that or a woman like that? They want to pull you in. So they'll be nice to you one moment. It was very, very short. And then they just dog you out and treat you like crap. And they love it. And they just want to see how, and they hurt you more and more and more because they're getting off on the excitement. Like, wow, how many times can I hurt this person? and they come right back to me. And they feed off that narcissism. I'm going to hurt him again. I'm going to hurt him again. Come right back to me. And I think that that's what he was doing with Katelyn. Whether he knew of everything else broken in her life, or I don't even think it mattered if he knew or not. She was the little girl on the internet that he was going to get this narcissistic supply from, on this push and this pull. I've witnessed somebody go through this. And they absolutely, this is an adult woman, and she couldn't pull away. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. You know what I'm saying? An adult woman, like, he made her do all kind of self-deprecating things, and she do it. She like, he's not going to love you. He likes hurting you, and then he brings you back. I've seen adult people can't understand this, so this 12-year-old girl has no chance at all. And it happens on the day she commits suicide.
Determination, like I saw on Katelyn's suicide video. On December the 30th, 2016, Katelyn walked outside. She was just very, very pretty. The blouse she had on didn't belong to her. It belonged to a friend. She had never worn it before. She reached inside of a car and she grabbed the dog walk. Everyone talks about her determination as she walked with that dog walk all the way to the tree in her backyard. And she began setting up this dog lead to hang herself.
And sorry to stop it right here. When I woke up this morning, I saw some comments from Marissa Edwards here. Thank you for your lovely comments. You know, I haven't had a chance to reply back, but I just want to stop and let you know that I saw those, and wishing you much love and success and luck on your appointment today.
Everyone talks about the determination that Katelyn had, and she set her camera on the ground. And while she's doing this, she's filming it live.
Now, I had told the Katelyn Nicole Davis community, with some people in the Katelyn Nicole Davis community, I was strategically just going to sit there and just say what happened when she committed suicide, only to come back later on in the video and show what Katelyn did that day. I was wondering, like, yo, are they going to stay to the end of the video if I put it right here and I'm just calmly talking about it without showing the, you know, like what I shot and how I walk up to it when she walks up? And I was worried that people wasn't going to last that long in the video, but it was an artistic choice to come back and do it that way.
She put a camera on the ground. She put the rope in the tree. She made sure it's a proper measurement. She made sure it was short enough. She made sure it can go around her neck. And once she had everything in place to kill herself, she came and she picked up the phone and she pretty much gave her last statement. I didn't know anyone was home at the time when this happened. When I first heard of this story, I just assumed for a girl to be this determined,
I didn't know.
She had to have been home alone. To my surprise, she wasn't. Her mother was there. Her brother was there. Her sister was there. By this time, Anthony Lee Rogers had been removed from the house, but we'll get more onto him in just a short moment.
Am I tripping? Like, am I crazy that, like, it just shocked the bejesus out of me that a girl can feel she can successfully go through and hanging herself with her entire family there? It's not dark outside. It's daytime. Whole family in the house. Anybody can just be laughing at TV, look out the window. Hey, there's Katelyn hanging from a tree. You know how, and I'm going to say it in the video, but I'm just still, nothing has changed 2 years later after I made this video. Like, you have to feel so worthless to know for a fact you can pull this off and no one is going to come look for you. I still feel that same way.
When I realized that Katelyn was there with her whole family, I go back and I look at this video and I see not only confidence in that she feels she's making the right decision to end her life, but the confidence that she has in knowing that she can do this in her yard in the daytime, dawn, and nobody's going to come check on her. In this video, she never once looked to the side. She never once flinched. She never once cried and gave her last creed.
Think about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going too fast here. Slow it down and think about that. If you was in your yard and your mom told you not to pick an apple off the apple tree, if you go pick an apple from the apple tree, you're going to look around. This girl is setting up a rope to hang herself in daytime. And I saw the entire video. I saw the entire thing all the way until they found her when she hanging from the tree. She never flinched. She never looked around. She never fixed the rope and was like, she was just on the rope. She knew no one was going to come look for her. 110% knew it. You do anything on your property when you a kid, you're not supposed to. You looking around. And she didn't do it when she was ending her life.
And stopped and looked around the corner. She was more confident that no one was going to find her. Want to see neglect? Tammy claims that day she made Katelyn 2 hamburgers. And she saw Katelyn eat these 2 hamburgers. I want you to hold that thought in your head.
That she said she saw her eating these.
So Katelyn says her last words. She ends her life. She ends her life, and as she ends her life, people are saying some of the most horrific things to her. People were egging her on to kill herself. One person in particular by the name of A.B. Tara. This kid lived across seas. I don't remember which country he lived in. But I do know once he realized that she wasn't joking and she's really going to kill herself, he watched her commit suicide on the stream. But he ran into the other room and grabbed someone in the house with him. And he began to film his reaction to watching her kill herself. We'll come back to him in a short moment. This stream lasted 43 minutes. You want to talk determination. A lot of times when people commit suicide by hanging themselves, at some point they may change their mind. They may pull on the neck. And a lot of times you find people who've committed suicide by hanging with their hands around their neck or trying to put air into it. They're trying to escape. They change their mind at the last moment. Katelyn did the exact opposite. She was so determined to end her life, to prevent herself from trying to grab the rope around her neck. She grabbed her white shirt and she clenched it. She clenched it to give her hand something to do to not interfere with the process of ending her life until her body hung lifeless. Or so I thought.
I watched this girl die. And I didn't know at first, like, why she was doing this right here. And she was holding it tight. Because she did not want to interfere with the process, man. She did not. Nothing's going to stop me. I failed last time I tried to kill myself. This time, it's 100% going to work.
On my research, I learned Katelyn was found by her mom. First person to go out there, and her mom freaked out and she went crazy. But right before she found Katelyn, she called the cops thinking that this is another incident where she thinks Katelyn may have ran away. Keep in mind, Katelyn suicide video lasts 43 minutes. So she killed herself. She must have hung there about 20 more minutes. Her mom screams and runs, and she tries to pull her down, and she finally gets her down. The neighbor comes. Katelyn's brother sees all of this, and he goes in the house and he gets her little sister, and she comes out, and they see Katelyn. And you look online, everybody says Katelyn was dead.
That's idiot, man.
She wasn't. She was alive. She was 12 years old. Maybe she didn't do something properly with the rope. You can't blame Tammy for not calling the cops back. You're freaking out. You see your daughter in this situation. And she's not remembering. If you report your child ran away, the cops aren't coming 90 miles an hour, blazing with the sirens and lights and everything on. They're just coming normal speed to take a report. But in her brain, I already called the cops. Why aren't they getting here? Why aren't they getting here? So it took a little while for her to call back and to finally get everybody out there. Katelyn was taken to the hospital. They put tubes all down her mouth, IVs, everything. They worked so hard to try to save her life.
You know, we're quarantined because I have COVID. So my girlfriend is watching the Virgil Regal video documentary I did, and it just went off. She's saying, wow, she just shocked. Her heart is so heavy. She had never seen anything I've done. This is her first time watching the full documentary that I've done. I'm going to send her a picture of how Virgil Regal's daughter looks now. But about this, I paused this for about Katelyn. The trick that YouTubers, true crime YouTubers, are afraid to do is to be honest if it makes an asshole look like a human. Tammy is an asshole. Katelyn's mother is an asshole. She's horrific. She doesn't deserve to have any children. She is directly responsible for her daughter committing suicide. All of those things are true. But if you run and see your daughter hanging from a tree like that, you will get into such a panic mode, I can't even say you will do. You don't know what someone will do. You can say it's understandable if someone gets in such a panic mode, oh my God, and freak out, that they don't think to just pick up the phone and call the cop right there at that moment. They don't want to say that because it'd be all about algorithms and getting stuff, and you want to make sure that you're with the people. The people hate Tammy. So only thing you say is bad things about Tammy. Paint a true picture of a person and then let the story tell itself. She's still a monster. I don't care if she saw her daughter hanging and she instantly flipped the phone out of hand, 911 ready as soon as she hit one button. I don't care what she would have done at that point. She's still a monster, but I still can tell the truth about certain people's actions.
They worked so hard to try to save her life. But she died at the hospital and was pronounced dead. As soon as Katelyn was pronounced dead, allegedly an officer asked her mom, could you think of one reason why your daughter would want to end her life? And allegedly Tammy said, she said that my separated husband molested her. Contrary to what you heard, even though she said this, during Katelyn's autopsy, no rape kit was performed on her. No sex kit was performed on her in all period. If you do not do this and you bury this girl, you bury along with her any hope of finding any truth or of what happened with Anthony Lee Rogers.
Yep. So nothing's gonna happen to him. He gets away scot-free.
So for all of you wondering why nothing happened to him, what kind of a world do we live in? Amy Tard made pages, troll pages, trolling her death. And sadly, this isn't an isolated event. There is one suicide for every 25 attempted suicides. Males make up 79% of all suicides, while women are more prone to having suicidal thoughts. 1 in every 65,000 children ages 10 to 14 dies by suicide each year. And these are some of the casualties of untapped love. (1310) Dunn Road. 2 suicides on 1 property. A year later, Katelyn's aunt overdoses. Was Tammy on drugs? Allegedly, or you listen to Katelyn. However, a year later, she was arrested for drugs. And that's when they finally took her 2 children away. The public failed. Parents failed. School system failed. Hospital failed. She was failed all around.
The difference between me now and me then, I always, from when I first made this, I wanted to do that pie chart. I wanted to do the graphics come together and show the different slices of Katelyn life and how each portion fell. I know how to do that now. I know how to make stuff like that now. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and do it more professionally. Maybe I go back and I tell Katelyn's story again, but this time I shoot it on 4K camera, and I go up there and I interview her teachers, and I do it for real, and like go for like Netflix or Amazon or something, because I do think that people should know this story, you know.
And if just one person would have stepped up, if one person would have had a voice, all of this could have been different. There was a man at the graveyard that day. I didn't know who you were, but now that I do, I'm sorry for your loss as well.
So I did my artistic choice to not say who that guy was, because I know that he and everybody in that town was going to watch this video I made on Katelyn. But that was her great uncle. That was her grandfather's brother. He was following me around because a psycho troll that stalks everyone who ever covers Katelyn case. I went live saying that I was going to travel up here to shoot this footage for this video. And when I told everybody, he called people in the town to tell them some crazy guy is coming to their town to destroy Katelyn's grave and do all of this other crazy stuff. So it was like like everywhere I went, like he was walking around, but I didn't mind him walking around because he just was trying to make sure his great niece was, you know, not being messed with or whatever. So I just pretended like I didn't see him and shot my footage and, you know, did what I was doing.
Autopsy report shows that Katelyn had nothing in her stomach. She said she saw Katelyn eating 2 burgers, but nothing was in her stomach. And I stand here And I realized her date of birth is February 20th, same as mine. First day of Pisces. In Katelyn's previous suicide attempt, she did leave a letter. However, the cops let Tammy back onto the property herself that night unsupervised. Unsupervised. And after her death, her stepfather logged into her Facebook account. Wonder why?
I wish that I would have elaborated on those things right there. I think Katelyn's stepdad and her mom got off the hook that I told the story in that fashion instead of elaborating, just to make crystal clear. Caitlin Nicole Davis's mother said that she fed her daughter and she saw her eat 2 burgers, but there was nothing inside of Caitlin's stomach. Even after her daughter's death, she's trying to hide neglect as a mother. I'm not even feeding your. I got too used to cussing on my other channel. Whew. Not even feeding your child. And you lie. You lie. How, if her stepfather is kicked out of that house, does he have Caitlin's information to sign in and delete stuff? What was he doing if he was removed from the home, living his life somewhere else, and Caitlin's alive and she has her Facebook and she's in it? Is he secretly watching her Facebook from wherever he is and everything she's doing? Everybody she's talking to, even though he's removed from her for sexually trying to molest her? So she dies and he goes and he deletes every message, anything. He deletes all of it. Or was he back in the house? And then the police can't find anything because she goes unsupervised that night. This is how I should have said this. I should have went into more details. I left it up to the audience to come up with whatever they feel on that. But if I would have done it now, I would have did this more direct. This is me driving home. This is sort of real life as this is based on a true story. It's not true, of course. This isn't me setting up the camera when I drove home. This is like weeks later, me pulling in right here. But I decided to do it this way because that's how I felt. I felt all the burden driving back from that place. I went to her school. I decided not to use footage from the school because, again, I had a crazy stalker, a demented human being that contacts the school and says some sexual predator guy named John is filming on your campus because he wants to destroy anybody who tries to make a documentary about Katelyn Nicole Davis. Crazy guy. He harasses everyone in the entire Katelyn Nicole Davis community. So I didn't use any of the footage from her school on here because of that. But, you know, I was in my car when I filmed this in my driveway. And again, I was talking to Stephanie. I'm like, I got to shoot a touching scene, man. I'm about to call you back. And I sat in the car and I filmed this scene here. From this point on, I knew exactly how the entire video was going to play out. I knew it before I ever drove up there to shoot anything. I knew before anything, from this point on, this is how I was going to drive home the story of Katelyn and drive home the story of how we should pay attention to our children.
I'm sorry I came into your lives just to get out of it this quickly. I'm sorry for everything. I'm really and truly sorry for everything. But I can't do this. I'm sorry.
That's when she slid the crate to the tree, and she wanted to make sure everything was set up. And she comes back down to finish talking. I didn't want to show it. Of course, I wasn't going to be that distasteful.
I'm sorry, Luke. I wasn't the best for you. I'm so sorry. I just wasn't good enough. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Lizzie, that I hurt. I'm sorry, Lashina, that I always that I wasn't strong
She's
enough.
apologizing to her online tormentors and psychos and pedophiles.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry I let this depression get to me. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm really sorry. I just don't deserve this. I don't deserve to live. I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry. I know I'm making an act of selfishness. I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all you guys who really like me and want me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I seem like a whore, that I'm nothing but worthless. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Why am I crying? I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to see my suicide.
What if this wasn't in vain? I said we were looking for purpose, and what if Katelyn gave purpose? The inspiration she's shown to so many others to make them go out and fight, to make them care, to make them spread your story for awareness, to prevent others from going through the exact same thing. to teach us we need to be more concerned. We need to show more love in the world. We need to pay it forward. You not only inspired so many others, but you inspired me to get on the right track as a father. Teaching me, Katelyn, the most important thing in life a parent can do is very simple. Listen.
Uh, um, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I went through hell growing up, so my child would never feel like the way Caitlyn felt. And so the end of the video just reminded me. It just reminded me of my daughter when she was hurting really bad. That's all. Hold on, I'll be right back. So, Tabby, I don't know if this has ever been released publicly. She got pregnant again. Hey, for how I found out, at least I kept quiet for over a year, right? She got pregnant again, had another baby after Caitlyn committed suicide and her losing her 2 kids. I think it got worse. I could be mistaken on this. Something else could have happened, but it was looking at like Anthony was going to get custody of the other 2 children. I'm sorry. I apologize. I forget, like, you got to hit that mute button and stuff. For the end of that video, me and my daughter was in a silly mode, acting crazy and silly in the kitchen. And she acted that out. She did that scene. I think we shot that scene 3 times with her washing the dishes. Because the first time we shot it, she wasn't with her back turned. The first time we shot it, you could see side of her face and she was staring at the door I walked through. And I walked through and we stared at each other. And as we stared at each other, I took one step and then the camera cut off. And I decided not to do it. I thought it would be better if they never saw my daughter's face, you know. So I like, hey, go wash the dishes, you know. But we was in a silly mode that day. You know, now that I think about it, I think I take that back. I think that was the last thing we shot. The last thing, yeah, that was the last thing we shot was that scene. Oh, it's crazy, man. I didn't want to get cocky, you know. But I don't think it's cocky. I just saying how I feel. I honestly don't think I'm gonna get sick from COVID. I think this is it. I think like every day I feel better when I wake up. I think I'm totally gonna be okay. You know, they told me to wait till at least till Sunday, so we'll see. But I feel that way because I do feel like there's a lot more to do. The day before I ever saw a Caitlyn Nicole Davis video, 24 hours prior, I didn't know I was gonna meet a little girl named Caitlyn. So I don't know who I'm gonna meet tomorrow. What case is gonna pull on my heart? What am I gonna feel like needs exposure? I think you guys are gonna be very shocked when you see what I've been doing in this chair on this Karen Bodine documentary because I didn't know what I was doing when I did Caitlyn, and it was just me sitting in the chair. But now everything is different. The equipment is different. I'm filming entire families now. I think you guys are gonna be shocked when you see it. And I think I'm gonna be here, and I'm not gonna die from COVID. I think I'm gonna be here to continue editing that. I think I'm gonna be here, even though I know she's probably mad at me. I think I'm gonna be here for Jessica Reed to see her finally get her story told. And I'm gonna be here to watch my daughter walk across the stage when she's 18 years old to get her to get the degree that Caitlyn Nicole Davis never got to get. Caitlyn Nicole Davis
truly thought Luke Callahan needed to get off. She really thought Luke needed to get off. You can't tell me now at 17 years old, about to be 18 years old, Caitlyn would have not looked back on that and thought like, man, I really was a lost 12-year-old child. She was gonna change, man. She just needed somebody to just keep her here one more day to get a little bit older, to get a little bit more wise, to receive a little bit more love. All she needed. That's all she needed. She was almost there. I hate that I can't find this freaking clip, man, when I need it. This girl got so many clips, man. Every time you saw me use a footage of Caitlyn in the documentary, just know that those were hours and hours of lives that she did during the final 30 days of her life. So it's a lot of footage. The Sarah Namina documentary is on Facebook. Sometimes things happen for a reason. I'm glad I had to redo the Charlemagne one because the one that we got coming out is why I mean, yeah, I'm looking to see. I don't think it's ever been mentioned that Caitlyn Nicole Davis' mom did have another baby. If I was, I would show proof. I ain't gonna do that. I can show you proof, but I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it silent. I'm searching for stuff, y'all. Another girl committed suicide. That's 12.
Have you guys ever heard of Morgan Ogletree? I mean, I guess the good news is there's just way too much footage on this girl. There's no way. Another 12-year-old did. It looks like December 2019. And the parents are going to sue the school because she left a note in a text message saying that she was going to commit suicide. Some people have really strong emotions. They really feel the vibes. It's like you can read people. It's so hard for me to explain feeling all the different emotions you get to. That's awesome, Kays. No, I see why it affect you. How do you find you on Facebook? John Crimes. I have a John Crimes group and then a John Crimes page. I actually just posted this live in the John Crimes group. It's haunting the sounds of everyday life in the background as this child ends her life. Trucks driving by. So if you think about it, if you saw when I came around that curve, I said, knock, knock. Who's there? Katelyn? Katelyn, who? When I'm coming around the curve, right? So pretend I don't turn. You turn and you're turning in front. Pretend I keep going down that street. That's the highway. That's the trucks you hear that's going by Katelyn. If I never turn to go on the street in front of her house, that fast street is where the trucks are driving by. Katelyn is swinging just on the inside of the yard on the opposite side. She's swinging right there, back and forth. That's, she lose her life and trucks are just riding by. So another thing I never told about that place is bad stuff happened to everybody who went on that property, allegedly. People saw ghosts inside of that place before they tore it down. A lady drove from Florida all the way up to Katelyn Nicole's trailer, and she left the internet. Something inside spooked her out of her mind, and she doesn't talk to people anymore. There've been all kind of reports of the same kind of ghost being described on that property. Just right behind me, and this make the crazy part. Nah, I ain't gonna do that. I went on the property. They had torn down the trailer, so it was only land on the property. I went to where the trailer was at, and then it was a trailer behind it. But I kind of knew exactly where the tree was, where she did it. Like soon as I got on there, and there could have been other options, but I knew this is where she did it right here. I walked right to it. I don't know how I knew I felt it, and then I pulled out my laptop and started looking at pictures to confirm, just to make sure I'm correct. And I was correct, but I knew like this is it. This is where she was when I walked over to the tree to do it. But a lot of people had report on seeing this ghost inside. And they weren't saying like some little 12-year-old girl angel or her granddad. They were saying like some evil entity is what they believe. I don't know. Maybe they were true. A lot of bad stuff happened to me since I've been. A lot of bad stuff has happened since I've been on there, even down to me having COVID right now. I don't know. Maybe it is. Um, some people don't understand us. It's hard. It's very hard being around a lot of people. If I wasn't as empathetic as I am, I would have like the biggest YouTube channel ever. If I could push my heart to the side sometimes and just be a bit of a dick that doesn't care and looking at this as a business, maybe I would be way more successful. But like the flip side to that coin is I sleep good at night, even when I have to sit up because I can't lay down because I got COVID. Still sleep good at night because I know I'm not manipulating people. I know I'm not being a dick. I know I'm not lying, and I know I'm not misleading people with false information. She didn't lose her life in vain. Some of us in here can share our stories. Morgan's note. Morgan's note is like story plot of 13 Reasons Why. Donald Duck, appreciate that. Who is Morgan's note? You mean Morgan Ogletree? Thank you, MH. I don't know what negative energy, but I believe it's not Katelyn. No, they're not saying it's Katelyn. They're saying that it happened to Katelyn. Like whatever that negative entity happened to Katelyn's grandfather and Katelyn, and they're saying it happens to anyone else that goes on that property. Sick with the C word. Thank you, Don. I have the C word, but I won't say that I'm sick. At least not now. I'm not sick. I'll post this right here. I'm not gonna play it though, because they like, yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna play the music. They're playing like Titanic music and stuff. 2004. Sadly enough, someone asked earlier, there's the video still on the internet of her suicide. Yes, it's on the internet. It's going to be on the internet forever. If you really want to see it, I apologize, but I don't apologize, actually. You have to find it on your own. I'm not going to show you how to go and watch that. It's horrific. It's just bad, man. But yeah, the whole thing from beginning to from when she walks outside of her door all the way until you hear her mom searching for her phone. You hear her mom calling her name in the background. It is dark outside, by the way, just so y'all know. When her mom comes out, it's dark, completely dark. What you asked about COVID, Lindsay? Oh, I have the vid too. You left me a message on the video. Was that recently? What are the boys overseas that watch it? Nothing happened to anybody. If you picked on Katelyn, nothing bad happened to you. The guy, the sexual predator, he went to prison, but for doing it to other girls. I think a couple years after Katelyn too. Yo, what is this person talking about on this video? So nothing happened to him. They that chat was brutal. So there are interviews. There are people who hit me up. I'm sorry, it's been a couple of years. There are kids who hit me up, and I didn't respond to some of them. Like they're kids, But there are people who I talked to someone who was in the chat when she hung herself. But these people reached out after they saw the documentary, and I didn't. Y'all know me. I don't do like a part 5, 6, 7, 8, 9s and stuff. So I talked to them in private. I got insight, but I never put it out there. When her phone keeps ringing, is that her mother calling? Yes, that's her mom calling as she's walking around looking for her. I never even heard of that show. It's a show called 13 Reasons. Yeah, I watched all her videos too. You know what's crazy about doing stuff like this? Like, you got all of this footage and all of this information, and you don't know like how much of it you're gonna use. Now, this is eerie watching this right here. This is eerie because I've been here. Yep. I pulled in right there at that exact same spot, man. That's eerie just to see stuff like this. Yep. So remember, I told you guys if you turn the corner. So what you're seeing on the screen is if you turn the corner. So behind the bushes on the left is that road if you would have kept going straight. So now you see the tree that Katelyn did this at right there, right? So now that you see that tree, you see is perpendicular to the road. So that's why y'all heard all those trucks riding by. And that's where her lifeless body was swinging. If you look at the angle of the tree to the house, she did it to where she chose the tree to where the windows would not see her. Can y'all understand my explaining this correctly? Because not the long part of the house, but the little short part, the other part. Like if you looked out that window at the far left with the AC, you still wouldn't be able to look out and see that tree right there, Katelyn. But this is the crazy part. Look at the front door. If you'd have came and just opened the front porch, that's all you had to do. If you'd have just opened the front door, you would have seen Katelyn's. All you had to do is open the front door and look to your right. You would have saw her. It was still day. Matter of fact, it looked just like it does on this picture. That's exactly where I was standing, right there. That must be before they updated her grave. Oh yeah, that's when it first happened. Man, boy. So I'm gonna tell y'all something else about her mom if y'all know. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this. Um so there's a parasitic relationship with Nicole Davis's mom, Tammy, and the stalker who harasses the life of anyone that cover Nicole Davis's case. You know, he's this crazy lunatic guy in England. He's bat shit crazy. I got an entire video on my channel. Just look at the video called "Death Threats" uh, from a stalker about Katelyn Nicole Davis. You'll see just how demented this guy is. But Katelyn Nicole Davis's mother Tammy helps this guy. You're like, why would she help this guy? He sexualizes her daughter who committed suicide, and it's because she wants money. Addicted to drugs and wants money. This crazy guy sends her money. So many people have gone to her and like, you're enabling a real psycho. But because he'll do anything she says, she allows his psycho to torment people. YouTubers that left the internet, man, they tried to call the FBI on this guy and everything. He really hates me more than anybody because y'all know how I am. When you come at me, I'm going to make you look like an idiot. I'm going to roast you. I'm going to belittle you. I'm going to talk trash about you. I'm going to make it appear as if you are nothing to worry about at all, no matter what you do. This guy has had over 100 Gmail accounts. I got used to waking up every single day, seeing another sweet poem of how he's going to fly over and murder all of my children. Every single day. It was like clockwork. Wake up, delete, block. Wake up, delete, block. Wake up, delete, block. He makes YouTube videos, watching my videos while talking to me as if we were having a conversation, like a maniac, walking back and forth in front of his computer. Yeah, it's very insane. Not to mention the things he's done to so many other people. Uh, he's gone real life on and threatened the family, harassed the family. He did to Courtney. Bobcat, the YouTuber I told you, who always makes videos about Katelyn, who made a video about Katelyn this morning. Can't say the FBI. Let me see. Do I got a video? Let me see. About the woman who left YouTube. I haven't played it in a while. Well, I guess it would be a good day than anything to play it. Let me see. If I can find it. I mean, I'm suck so bad when it comes to I suck so bad when it comes to finding stuff in my computer. Oh, I still got a Jessica Chambers folder. I still got a Katelyn Nicole Davis folder. I still haven't deleted any of the footage I took. I got nighttime footage. I never knew that. Damn, I want to play this lady. I'm gonna find this footage. I want to play this lady for y'all. She was a YouTuber, big YouTuber, and he drove her to leave the internet. Damn, I got a lot of cases. Mm-hmm. Hold on, y'all. I found it, I think. I found it. Someone told me last time it had no volume when I tried to play a video on here. So let's see, does it have volume now? Why aren't my videos playing? Let me see. Open with. Trying to see why won't a video play, period. Like any kind of video I do. Hold on. More than one way to skin a cat. All right, so we're gonna have to do it like I did yesterday. For some reason it wasn't playing, but this will play. I don't know why it wouldn't play for my computer. It's freaking weird. Let me try it again for my computer. No, it won't play. Oh, you know what? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me try this first. Maybe this will work. Play video file. Now that I know where it is, let's see.
Just has decided to harass and stalk me, threaten me, and now my family. This is a final warning to say that we are done. We have continued to send and report everything to the local authorities, to the FBI, and we are not messing around. And you have continued, despite everything, to seek out some sort of a direct response, which is why I even hated the fact that I have to make this video. But when you have people that are trying to scare you or stalk you or get the best of you. The worst thing to do is actually give them a reaction, and that's exactly in a way what this is, which is why I feel a bit hypocritical and stupid in making this. But I don't want to feel powerless, and I don't want anybody else out there right now who may be dealing with something similar to feel that they are powerless. This individual who has threatened to kill me, who I have never met, is continuing. Now they're actually reaching out personally to me and almost taunting me with kind of trying to play a sick game of, you know, I'm going to try to be nice to you now, knowing that I've threatened to kill you, which I don't know what sort of sick individual does that, but this is the final warning. Like I said, any and everything that you have sent or said has been and is being documented and passed over to the authorities as evidence and the FBI. I would really, really, really encourage you to stop and just leave me alone. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want with me. I understand that this revolves around a crime case that I have been covering regarding Katelyn Nicole Davis and following her life. You feel that I've gotten a lot of attention and you're not happy with that for whatever reason. You don't know me. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. I want you to leave me alone. I want you to leave my family alone. I want you to stop contacting me immediately. I want you to stop making any effort to contact me, whether it's under whatever new alias you decide to create, because we know exactly who you are, we know exactly where you are, we know exactly what you're doing, what you're trying to do. The authorities are monitoring everything. The authorities are aware of every single thing you're doing right now. And we are not going to hesitate to press charges if it comes to that. I would really implore you at this point, like I said, I don't know what you want, but if being in prison and behind bars is what you want, you're gonna get it. So I would stop. Leave me alone. Leave my family alone. Stop threatening me. Stop trying to reach out to me personally. You will not get an answer. You will be ignored. The authorities will be forwarded everything as they have been. And if you haven't received a knock at your door yet, and you feel that you're sort of in some position where nothing you do is ever going to be held accountable for, there's no consequences, just wait, because your behavior has not stopped. And somebody needs to say to you once, leave me alone. You have technically already committed a crime, which is threatening to kill me online. You can't do that and have no consequences. The authorities know about that. The authorities know who you are. The authorities know where you are. And if you think that trying to reach out to me and scare me or, you know, harass me, which is what you're doing, because now this is actually, this is harassment. For some reason, you think that the laws do not apply to you and that you are going to just be able to threaten to hurt people, kill people. Whatever is wrong with you, you need professional help. I would seek out that help immediately. Leave me alone. Stop any and all mention of me. Stop posting my videos to your myriad of YouTube channels. Yes, we know about every single channel you have right now. No matter how you try to change up the name or the title, you are taking my videos, which is not a crime that I'm aware of, but you are exhibiting a stalker and a harassing behavior that is beyond creepy and needs to end immediately. This is your final warning. Do not take any more of my videos and repost them across your channels. You may think that that's nothing and that tons of people do that, which they do, but you are doing this knowing you have threatened to kill me, and the authorities know that. So any behavior that you continue to do that involves me, my name, my image, is all going to go to them because you have seized. Stop it immediately. Do not reach out to me. Do not reach out to my husband. Do not reach out to anybody else Watch exactly what you're saying, because all of us are watching you. And it's not just me, by the way. I don't want to have threatened many people online. And as far as they have told me, none of them have taken it as far as I have, and they're very grateful that I am. And I will go all the way, because I am not somebody who will be fucked with, period. I am not somebody who you want to mess around with when it comes to something like this. You do not know me. I do not know you. I will not stand to be bullied or threatened or made to feel afraid or taunted or messed with or play whatever mental game you're trying to play to try to get your attention. You will be in jail if this behavior continues, is what I'm trying to tell you. Stop it. Do not mention me anymore. Do not reach out. Do not contact me. Period. If we see you doing that after this, if we see you mention my name again, if we see you repost videos, any behavior that involves doing something when I am saying, please just stop and leave me alone, we will press charges. We are not kidding. I am not the person to be messed around with when it comes to this. You are taking something that is a very sad story that can inspire a lot of people, and you are twisting it into some sick game that you have that you're playing by going after people that have been covering it. And it will not deter me or stop me from doing what I know to be right, because there's one sick individual.
So what happened with me is like, this is my second ever YouTube video. I don't know about no crazy people or cases. I come off of having my first video, which came out to be very successful. I'm ready to do Katelyn Nicole Davis, and I'm going live talking to you. And that stalker comes in my audience, and he always comes in acting nice first, but he always is egging on a fight. He wants you to fight with him, but I don't know he exists. I don't know he's in my chat with like 10 different profiles in the same live chat, in and out, going. I guess he logging in and out. I didn't know I was talking to the same person until, because when I went live saying I'm going to cover the Katelyn Nicole Davis case, I didn't know the Katelyn Nicole Davis community, So when they was trying to message me, they was trying to let me know who he was, but he was like saying cryptic stuff like, you need to be careful what you do. You need to be careful what you say. He just kept saying little shit. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm in my audience like, I'm like, who the hell is this dude, man? You talking to? And then boom, there's the war right there. That now he's ready to go full crazy, using all 50 of his YouTube channels, all 100s of his Gmail accounts, and posting videos of your house and staring at it and making poems out of the street you live on, and saying how he's gonna burn your children up and all of this stuff. It was crazy. But so this lady, this was her last thing. I know she's trying to come off as hardcore, like don't F with me, but she was frightened. She was scared, and she left the internet. So when I did my research on this crazy nut guy, I found out a lot of stuff about him. I found out he's an English former Elvis Presley impersonator from the 70s. He's a lonely nut that lives in Great Britain and sleeps under a bridge. It's just like tunnel under the bridge that has these not apartment. It's like apartments, but really bad, horrible apartments under a bridge. And he harasses people in real life as well. He prides himself on bringing a gun on the airplane to try to sneak it into America. I guess he wants to say he was going to come kill somebody. He got caught. It made the paper in the 70s, and he keeps the article on it. Why is he so obsessed? He became obsessed with Katelyn Nicole Davis first, the little 12-year-old girl. I'm going to show you how obsessed he is right now. I'm going to show you a clip of the video I made when I covered this nut. He also left me alone for 1 year, and I was like, he doesn't have the personality to leave somebody alone. Something must have happened. I reached out to the Katelyn Nicole Davis community. I'm like, have you guys seen this dude around? I ain't seen him. He had got arrested for threatening a member of British Parliament. That's how crazy he is. I knew it instantly when he got out of jail for that or prison, whatever, because he came right back to stalking me every day. And then he went to my rap channel. He went to all my other channels. I would assume he's arrested either again right now. I know the first time they took his computer and stuff, has to be arrested right now because he's a loony who will never, ever, ever stop harassing people. If you want to see how a real stalker behaves, cover the Katelyn Nicole Davis case. He'll find you. Thank you, Aldo from Scotland. Yeah, he makes pizza pans. But my approach was different than her approach. My approach was I'm going to clown a sick guy. I'm going to belittle a sick. Yo, what the crap? Am I on the cord? I think I'm on the cord. All right, watch out. I'm going to say don't scare me like that, but it's not. Actually, okay. Is it time to get a new light? I remember this lady. She went through hell with this individual. He has to be arrested now because I haven't heard from him in months. So, but I got used to him. I was just like, yo, I'll still. You wanted to get to know me, be friends with me? I come with a stalker. I got used to him. But I wasn't. He was never gonna bother me. Let me see. It's some of the video.
Oh, right here. Oh, my bad. Ooh, I remember that face. Ooh, I remember that shape. Springtime about me back my bait. We should remember mistakes. I had a year to decide. I had a year to just wait. I'm taking you in my arms. I ain't relying on fate. Happy Secure is back. This time not going away. She said I never been gone. I said the hell did you say? She said when seasons are gone, her roots are grounded
in place.
Because I didn't like what I saw. I'm the one turned through away. All right, I saved. I don't know where my saved stuff goes to, but I think it's this folder right here. I just saved it from my email. So I just have to scroll down me pictures. I apologize for the little wait here. By the way, that is a scene from one of my films. I just thought that it was kind of spooky to use as a thumbnail for something like this. I'm sorry. I have a morbid sense of humor. Oh, good Jesus, John. I always do stuff the hard way. All I had to do is remember the file name.
Taking too long to find this file.
Paid attention to every photo.
Okay, here it comes.
And boom, here we go. I want y'all to.
This is his desktop. Katelyn Nicole Davis picture really big, and every single file is a folder on someone who covered Katelyn Nicole Davis's case and how he stalks them. Watch how many folders he has of me.
To notice that his background is of Katelyn Nicole Davis. What's even more
how did I get this? Before you even ask, he was making a video stalking me, and he accidentally had the screen open to where it showed his desktop, and I took a screenshot of it before he deleted the video.
Disturbing is that he's using a younger picture of Katelyn Nicole Davis. But can you see my mouse? Let me see. Can you guys see my mouse if I were to scroll on top of this? I don't know. I think you should be able to. Can you see it? You can't see my mouse? Nah. Okay. You can't see my mouse, so I'm just going to talk it through. Let's start at the top right. It looks like he saves each month for his desktop. But if you look on here, you see the top row, he's stalking people. He got something called new haters. You go below on the far right, you see Bobcat, Alex Hale. Those are people in Katelyn community who he already stalks. Bobcat is the guy with the beard at the end of my Katelyn video when I do a montage of all the people that help Katelyn. The second one is me, John Goes Networking. The third one, you're going to bleed, bitch. A bitch hates on Tammy. About John Crimes. We go down to the one below that. Courtney is someone who helped me on the case. A message to John Crimes. Another screenshot of John Crimes. John Crimes releases to Katelyn Nicole Davis. Let's go down below that. Below it's recycling bin, murder, December desktop. Tammy and I on Fields. Tammy and I, you've never seen Tammy before in your real life. Okay, let's go to the other side, to the far top left. John Crimes. Tammy, which is her mom. Tammy. Matchless. What are you doing, brother? You trying to get a date under the bridge? John Crimes again. Ron Noble. That's someone in Katelyn community. Peaks Park. I'm assuming he's doing more information on people. Tammy and Katelyn. John Crimes with Cash. I don't know what that means. John Crimes again on the third row. Tammy, John Crimes, Tammy on the fourth row. Courts, Keith, assume that's somebody he's talking to. Tammy and Tony. Cherokee Bleeds. That is the woman who he sent the death threat about me to. He always bothers and stalks her. So the community post you see that I put up, he didn't send that threat to me. He sent that to someone else, telling them what he's going to do to my family. We have Tammy again. Next to that, we have John Donations. He screen recorded me making a video where you guys were giving me super chats. He doesn't like that. Ronnie, gonna assume that's somebody else in Katelyn's community. We get down to the fifth row. John Crimes again. Bobcat, another guy in the community I told you about. Some weird picture of Katelyn called Stuck. Then we have Tammy and Michelle comments. Katelyn and somebody else. Love letters to Tammy. Bobcat. Starch Nick Allen. Screen comments to Mark. Some other people. I don't know. John Crimes. I'm at the bottom row again. It's pretty much me and Tammy. The majority. And I would assume if you go back to any other month, whoever was doing the Katelyn case the most and had the most videos, who was getting the attention, his desktop probably looked like that about them too. I thought I saw when I looked at this earlier one with Celeste, who knows, was on here as well too. I don't know. Maybe I overlooked it, but I'm sure he had a photo with Celeste, who knows, on it. All right, so he makes pizza pens for a living, which I find is crazy ironic because he's lonely without a family and he makes the device. Most families go to restaurants to eat. You don't pretty much see like a one person going to a restaurant, eat a pizza by themselves. It's pretty much a family. That gotta suck to see families in your face all the time, knowing that no one will ever love you and you're in love with the mother of a girl who committed suicide because she allows you to give her money. Before I go any further about this nut job, I just want to say, Tammy, you told somebody that even though they've sent you trillions of stuff to show that this guy is unstable, this guy is freaking crazy, you push it off as if it's nothing because he gives you money. I do not mean disrespect when I say this. This is how I feel. If something were to happen, if he gets so upset that people are ignoring him, that he actually does go and do something, not only will you have the blood of your daughter dead on your hands, you have the blood on other people. So when people who want to believe that you have learned from your situation or grown as a person to know that you would egg this on, you would communicate with this guy. You would let this guy speak to your two surviving children. I don't know. You want people to believe that you just made simple mistakes as a mother, but you're doing this purposely for a few. I'll give you some bucks if that's what you need. But no rational human would ever condone this kind of behavior, ever. He lives in England. So a lot of people feel like they are above the law. There's some mystical creature that stuff never happens. Tekashi 6ix9ine believe he's untouchable when the whole time the cops is just watching him. And people gravitated towards him. Like he's doing stuff nobody else has the balls to do. There's nothing special about this guy. He's sending death threats because he's overseas, and it takes a lot longer, a lot harder process. If he was in America, he would not be doing this because he would have got arrested after he bothered the first person. So he's just using the fact that he's in a different country. I know a lot of people are worried and they are happy that he's there. I wish he was closer. You know,
I'm going to give you guys the link if you want to know more about this so you can watch it on your own time. But I just want to let you all know everything that came from a 12-year-old committing suicide and how crazy her mom is, because you want this psycho on your daughter's legacy. You actually help this guy do this stuff. And I get why. She gets something out of it. She feels that this psycho harasses anyone, then no one would mention her daughter's case. Katelyn wanted her story to be told. You hear it when Katelyn tells her own story and when she tells people, to not commit suicide. She doesn't want Katelyn's story told because you cannot tell Katelyn's story without showing how much of a horrible mother Katelyn had. So if she can control this beast of a crazy stalker and wind him up in the back and let him just go at anyone else, she doesn't care. These are all the crazy things taking place. She just had another baby. I think Anthony got his children. It's just a sad, sad story all around. Yeah, she's very sick. A lot of people, and this is the one thing that drives him mad, a lot of people believe that this stalker guy really was the secret troll that kept harassing Katelyn at the end of her life. That's his trigger when you say that right there. That really upsets him, little bitch. But yeah, he still stalks everybody in the community. It's not like something that'll go away. Once you cover the case, he becomes part of the package deal that he's going to bother you forever as far as he's concerned. Unless he gets arrested for something, he's going to always harass you and try to come into your real life. And I think he likes the power that he feels he can prevent people from wanting to talk about Katelyn. But he'll never prevent real empaths who don't give a fuck about his shit. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, from watching. I know earlier you guys were asking for the link to Vera Jo Regal. I saw comments. I see every comment. I wanted to keep it about Nicole, Katelyn Nicole. So, but I will post the Vera Jo documentary link right here. It was the first time I ever used actors. In any of my documentary YouTube video, just for a short moment, but it's still my first time using actors, which I will again in the future, and I have after this. So you all enjoy your day. I'm gonna get up and walk around and keep moving and stuff, and totally try to beat this COVID, and continue working on the video that we started on yesterday, and I'll have a new video out for you guys soon. Thank you all. And as I always say, don't kill, make a sandwich. I almost forgot my own slogan.